Welcome to the very last trading day of the year, but I will be active all weekend, unlike last weekend when I was vacationing in Vegas. This weekend, I'm going to be here and I will be producing all kinds of content. And recently, what I've just done has take a look at this Xiaomi issue. And while it will take at least 6 months or longer to confirm whether Xiaomi, I got to get that right, is going to produce a car that is any kind of competition to Tesla. The reality is that there is potential for that to be true. I'd say a lot of potential. I've watched about 2/3 of their launch video, which is over 4 hours long, and there are already a bunch of conclusions that I can draw. For the most part, they have benchmarked Tesla and are just attempting to be a little better than Tesla on all the metrics that matter. But by the time they're making any significant quantities, one can assume Tesla will have passed them on those metrics and invented entirely new elements that are not even thought of in the initial Xiaomi products. For instance, 48-volt systems, drive-by-wire would be a couple that come to mind. I do think the market saw enough of a threat yesterday in the Xiaomi introduction to trim holdings. This is a significant company. The video was very glitzy and compelling. But I think that if that's true, if I've got that right, that this knee-jerk reaction will only last a few days, as people recognize it's going to take years for any threat from this company to be significant in terms of Tesla's future. Yahoo reports, they say, actually, Bill Russo, CEO of Shanghai-based advisory firm Automobility, told Reuters in this Yahoo reports, they have a significant opportunity to break through as the automobile becomes a smart device. The vehicle, called the SU7 or Speed Ultra, will share an operating system with the company's phones and other devices. Russo noted that Xiaomi has hundreds of millions of MI fans are members of its smart device ecosystem. Xiaomi, founded in 2010, is among the world's top 5 global smartphone brands, alongside Apple, Samsung, and China's Oppo and Vivo. It also makes other consumer electronics and household appliances. So, this is not insignificant. That's why I am spending so much time on it, and I do intend to do a video on probably over the weekend, maybe with the help of one of my one of my regular one of my regulars. Yeah, that's what we'll call them. Anyway, over the weekend about this entire thing. And then I think they just have a much better chance of being a competitor, at least by, let's say, 2026. You know that Larry is up later today, so hit subscribe, hit notify, of course, hit like, go over to Patreon and sign up. I need some more Patreon folks. We'll be talking about that more in 2024, because if I'm going to make my goals in 2024, I need to double my Patreon too. All right. And then, by the way, I had some giggles yesterday talking about how your mom might have given you money for Christmas, because that's what I do. I'm grandpa. And I'm giving away money for Christmas. I don't have time or even the knowledge to go out and buy presents for this. I mean, I have 9 grandkids now. Is that right? I think it's 9. Yeah, it's hard to keep track sometimes, along with 4 kids. And it's like, how do you keep it all straight? So I just send money, and you probably get money also, from your mom or your dad or from others. So if you got some left over, here's what you want to do with it. And we got a special. It only goes through Monday night. So $20 if you buy 2 or more. So for 20, it's $40. For 3, it's $60. For 100, it's $2,000. So place your order now for 100 Cybertrucks. Be sure to tell me whether you want the regular stainless or whether you want the camouflage. And if you're outside now, if you buy 1,000, you do not have to add any extra freight. So on orders of 1,000 or more, no extra freight. All right, let's jump into the content today. Listen, an alternative explanation for the big drop in Tesla yesterday was that some large blocks were sold, and maybe these were tax purposes, maybe they were window dressing, maybe they were, who knows, but there were some big blocks that were sold. I continue to think it was Xiaomi, but if I'm right, the recovery will only take a few days. If it was tax purposes, you might expect a bounce back today. Of course, today, you never know what's going to happen on the last day of the year. So that might mean Monday or Tuesday. Well, I mean, Tuesday or Wednesday. Now, of course, on Tuesday, we get the numbers. So that throws everything out the window. Well, the media attacks continue. I don't think I can remember a time when there has been more shameful examples of fake news, clickbait, disinformation, misinformation, all obviously purposefully intended to do harm to Tesla. I mean, it's not like it's just to get eyeballs. These are just punch, punch, punch. And as somebody said, with all the stuff that's coming up for Tesla, that's coming up roses, that's coming up positive, this is a time when the folks that hate Tesla are the folks that have an axe to grind or a reason in terms of financial reason to attack. They're doing it in spades. Well, I think that we may come to a time where there's so many cries of a wolf that maybe, investors will just start ignoring these cries until they prove out to be true. I mean, you can't just be jerked around all the time by stupid, ridiculous, awful news reporting like this and not eventually become numb to it. Well, how about a real news story that nobody will report on? And this is from Elon Musk on X today. And he says, it is increasingly clear that all roads lead to AGI. Tesla is building an extremely compute-efficient mini AGI for FSD. And of course, if it's for FSD, then it's for both the auto version of it and also the bot version of it. Dan Ives reflects on kind of the same subject this morning, and he's at Dives Tech on X. He says, as the ball drops on Times Square to end 2023, heading into 2024, we believe that the tech sector is set up for an acceleration of spending around cloud and AI projects being significantly underestimated by the street in this 1995 moment. The new tech bull market is underway. I'll talk more about that later in this episode, but I'm also going to be talking about that over the weekend and some of my 2024 forecasting. The long bonds are falling again today, and the short bonds are starting to move up. Last night in the program, Bradford Ferguson suggested that this might be some folks that are doing some technical reasons that are causing this to take place right now. Window dressing, tax decisions. If he's right, the inversion might start coming apart next week. And this could make short-term treasuries one of the best investment opportunities of 2024, other than Tesla. This is not investment advice, merely an observation. So, I've been saying first of all, I got some things right last year. I got right that there was no recession. I got it right that the long bonds at 5 would be over, and that there would be a massive rally in bonds. I got that right. I got that inflation was over the entire year. I said inflation was over. I've got some of those large things extremely right last year. I also was almost right about the 300. I was only less than $1 off on Tesla getting to 300. You may remember that, but I got a lot of stuff wrong too. So you can pick and choose among my recommendations for next year and decide which of those you think is going to come true and which of those things is not. Look at this shirt that I've got. My t-shirt is falling out of my arm. What is that happening on the other side too? How terrible. I didn't dress myself well this morning. Anyway, so I believe that is going to be a biggie for next year, is the short bonds are going to rally like crazy. Does that mean the long bonds are going to fall? No, I think the long bonds will do just fine next year. In fact, I think they will rally strongly next year as interest rates come down, probably into on the treasuries, on the 10-year, probably into the 3%, 3 to 3.25 range. Okay, another big opportunity in 2024 will be the mid caps and the value stocks. The rotation is going to happen. It's just a matter of when. This doesn't mean that the Mag 7 will be losing. In fact, I think they will do, just like Dan and I've said a minute ago, I think they'll do very well next year. However, the rotation will be out of cash and into these underappreciated equities. And don't read too much into anything that happens today, because it's the last day of the year and lots of stuff could be happening that has nothing to do with the fundamentals. In fact, Tesla is struggling again this morning, the last time I checked, as the long bonds are down, yields are up, and that could have been part of the reason that Tesla was hit yesterday. But maybe it was just a combination of issues. Maybe it was partially Xiaomi and partially long bonds being yields being up, and partially being window dressing, and partially being a couple of big amounts that were sold. Who knows? Maybe it was all, continuation of all this bad news that's being reported untruthfully by the press. Anyway, I continue to believe that the short-term future of Tesla stock price is up, and radically so. I'm holding on to my all-time high at the end of January. I know, starting to look crazier and crazier, right? But I'm holding on to it. Tuesday's numbers will certainly have an impact on whether that begins to take place or not. So where are we on the stock issues right this minute? Well, looky here. Tesla is still, I would call, struggling. It's up 27 cents. The Dow Jones is down now. The Dow has been all over the place, giving more weight to what I just said about this last day of the year, maybe being crazy. S&P, so we got the Dow up $1.47 now. It was down just a second ago. So like I said, it's just going crazy, up and down. NASDAQ is up 14. It was down. The S&P is up 311. It was down. Now we've got the Dow back down again, negative 45. So it's just all over the place. Tesla up 24 cents. All right, let's look at this. And let me say here about all the Magnificent Seven, except Meta, which was up, is down, but it's heading up. So a lot of movement right around break even. That's what I'm seeing right now this morning so far. That's really what's taking place. That is also true of the Cathie Woods. Hardly anything is up or down by a dollar. I mean, not even a dollar. Let's look at this in percentages. We have got the Dow Jones is now zero. It's flat zero. We've got the NASDAQ down 0.07%, and the S&P down, up 0.07, and the S&P up 0.05, and Tesla now down 0.05. I mean, it's like I said, it is right around zero. That's where all the action is right now so far. Let's see what's happening with the bonds. Right away, we go into the bonds. Whoops, I really messed it up. Let me see here. We've got the bonds this morning up 3 basis points on the 10-year. That's been where it's been. 3.881, so still well under 3.9. Again, I believe the rally will pick up again starting next week. We have got the rest of the bonds, wow, all over the place this morning. But the longer-term ones are all somewhat up. Yields are up, so bond prices down. And the shorter-term ones are tending for the stock underlying price to be up, with the yields coming down a bit, except for the 2-month, which is the one that people pay attention to, which is actually yields up this morning. What about oil? We have got oil this morning. Last time I checked, so oil was down. Now it's up just a bit, just up 0.64% at 72.23. Still trading in that range. Actually, the range has been very small for the week or week and a half, between 70 and 75. Brent is now still at about a little over $5 different. So that is coming down. That difference is coming back down closer to 3, which is where it normally is. And then natural gas this morning is down. So that there got some heavy profit taking there, down 1.64. Gold down, but still like at 2,071. We've got the dollar, right around break even. And we have got Bitcoin at 43 even. That's up 4.99 for the morning. Okay, taking another look at Tesla just to see, probably just still bouncing around. Yep, it's right around zero. Everything's right around zero. We'll see what happens. Maybe it'd be flat all day long. That'd be kind of crazy. All right, so what else have I got to tell you about? Oh yeah, so be sure to come back I might even do that Xiaomi deal today at noon. I don't know if I'll have time to finish and get that produced. It'll either be that or it'll be the beginning of my predictions for next year. I think you're going to want to see these predictions. I'm going to go into a lot of detail. I'm going to go subject by subject on Tesla. I mean, I think there's 15 that I've already identified that we need to make some predictions about for next year. I'm going to go into the overall general economy, what I think is going to be happening with the general economy. I'm going to be going into the facets of the markets, bonds, stocks, the whole range. I'm not going to get real specific on some of this stuff because, who knows what's going to happen to oil next year. All it takes, as you know, is one national crisis to change everything, or a really, really cold winter. Anyway, but I'm going to go into some detail on some of these predictions, and that might start at noon today, or there might be breaking news as there was yesterday. I might grab onto something, but you do want to go back and take a look at the one that I did yesterday during the midday period. That one was a very strong video that everybody needs to take a look at, and I'll put the card right up here. All right, that's all I got. I am going to say goodbye for now. It has been great talking to you.